I think this might be my last message. If there's anyone listening out there, it ain't looking too great down here. I lost Patrick 3 days ago. Bastards left a damn landmine for us. My leg ain't looking too hot anymore either. I've got some more water, but I don't know if it'll last me. I hope you're up there listening. Some people think you're all gone, killed or something. I think they're optimistic. You sick bastards left us here to rot. Some kind of experiment or something? There a purpose to this? I don't think so. I think you're all just sadistic freaks. I think... I...
Hey guys, welcome back to 15-Minute Tabletop. I made another game for you guys last week, and I'm going to go ahead and break that down for you really quick. This is the series where I make a tabletop game alpha in a week, and then I'm going to give it to you guys in the description at the end. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what I made this week. If you remember last week, we made Splatter, which was more of a survival horror, almost a slasher film type game. Whereas this week, I'm working on something a little bit different for you. This week is a little bit more narrative focused, whereas Splatter was just more of a concept where you are really focused on making your own story. Break-452's got a little bit of world building to it. Not a ton yet. If I ever revisit this, then that'd definitely be something that I looked at. But right now, it's just enough to give you that little hint to start building your games. So I'll go ahead and explain Break-452 to you. So Break-452 is a survival game. It's based on the likes of Marathon and Halo, and it's a little bit different than like D&D and Cyberpunk still, whereas those games are more combat focused with role-playing in between, depending on how you run them. This game will be significantly more role-play focused, as you're just trying to survive the remains of this planet that you're on. But Break-452B is fully a survival game. There is combat, there's a combat system. However, most of the combat will be very quick and dirty, and that's intentional. So let me give you just a little bit of breakdown on the story before I start explaining some things to you. So Break-452 is set on Kepler 452b, which was one of the closest easily inhabitable planets, with the closest climate to the Earth, the capability for life on it. And so Kepler 452b is where our story takes place. We're in the distant future, about like 2100, and we are essentially colonists on this planet who've been sent down. There's this big mega satellite that rotates around the planet. And the colonies and the satellite communicate for your supplies, your food, all of your like resources you get from the satellite, and then the satellite sends it down to you. Except something happened, and suddenly the satellite isn't responding. About 25 years after that, one of the biggest cities collapses, and suddenly you find yourself in a bit of a resource pickle. So the entire premise of Break-452 is that it's a survival game. So you will have to manage your resources, you'll have to hunt for things. If you take damage, it's pretty bad. It's pretty lingering. You want to take as little damage as possible. But there's also a mechanic that I'm going to talk about later called sickness. And that's going to be essentially like what's pushing you to get these resources to keep gathering these things that you need to survive. But I'll tell you more about that in the next section. So this week, as this game has quite a bit more mechanics than Splatter, which was pretty simple, I actually made some character sheets for you guys. I'm going to show you how I made them later. It was pretty simple. It was a lot of teaching myself stuff in Canva, which took maybe like 2.5 hours, but it wasn't too hard. But I made some character sheets for you guys, and each on the character sheets, they're going to help you out as you are looking at some of these like resources you'll need to manage. There's an inventory mechanic that you'll need to manage. So I'm going to go ahead and start detailing some of these. So, you've got your normal tabletop things, you've got your stats, your skills. Skills are a little bit more specific than stats, but if you can manage to use your skill instead of a stat, then you'll want to, because it's probably just going to be better for you. There is no level up mechanic. I want characters to be very specialized in what they want to do. So you have like a pretty broad range of skills that you can choose from, but you're going to be specialized in just a few of them. And that'll become more important as all of these skills are going to be used to help you survive. You've got stuff like running, jumping, climbing, but you've also got stuff like security tech to help you get into some of these like locked buildings. You've got stuff like your fighting, of course. You've got stuff like dodging, which is pretty important. And then there's a whole resilience stat that's all about just toughing through things physically, mentally. And that's going to help out your character just hang on that little bit longer if you want to invest into that. But along with your stats and your skills, one of the bigger mechanics in the game is a carry capacity, because I don't want you to be able to run around with this that's not a looter. You're not meant to have as much as possible. Basically, you start out, you can choose a tier of backpack as you're making your character, or you can find one as you're exploring the game. And your tier of backpack has a certain carry capacity on it. And you don't want to overload this carry capacity, or else you won't be able to carry anything else. So you kind of have to keep track of the things that you're keeping in your bag. Like bigger things are going to take up more space. More important things are going to take up more space. Having a weapon is going to take up a lot more space than something like having like a bottle of water or a can of food. And so you'll want to be able to manage those as you're making your character. And along with that, you're going to be asking, why do I have these things? Because you have 6 stats that you're going to need to manage. You've got your hunger, you've got your thirst. You have to sleep so that you can restore your sleep meter. You've got a stress, which is kind of a general thing, which as things keep piling on, stress can build up. You need to have a change of clothes just in case you get things dirty, because if you remain in dirty clothes for too long, it'll be bad for your character. And then there's a specific mechanic about spores, which have kind of invaded the air of the planet that you're on. And that one's a little bit more environmentally focused, which you can read a little bit more about in the document. But the short run of it is that a lot of the cities are going to be a lot more dangerous to explore. And as you explore those, you're going to need some kind of filter mask, which you'll need to find, or you'll need to pick up as you start. And those filter masks will be very important for keeping your character safe on the surface of the planet. Just a little bit more of that like environmental danger type thing. But as your resources deplete, you will start becoming sicker, and as your character becomes sick, your maximum hit points will go down. So it's imperative, if you want your character to survive, to keep those resources up, or else you will become closer and closer to dying each time that your character is like thirsty, hungry, can't get sleep. But the sickness will build up over time, and there's no way to get rid of it. So once you've got it, you've got it. So you have to be as careful as possible not to apply it. And so that'll be that driving force that'll want you to get your characters out into the world and to explore and to talk to other people that might be good or might be bad. It's up to you to determine that. But I'm going to show you guys how I made your character sheets. And I'm going to show you how I made a cover for you guys here in a second. So I wanted this cover to be a little bit more, I want to say, specific than the last one. I had a few more ideas going into the week rather than just kind of something that I was whipping up. And I had an idea of the aesthetic that I was looking for. And while I kind of knew what I wanted to do, it was kind of one of those things where I was, really throwing it together as I was going. So I'll let you guys take a look at what I did with that. So like I said, I'm a bit new to Canva, so this character sheet was a bit of an exploration for me, but now that I've taught myself, I'll be able to work on some more for you guys later. I don't think it's too awful. I'll show you a little bit of what I did here with that, and then you can see the finished product. But yeah, take a look at that. And of course, all of that for you guys will be in the description below. I'm going to start compiling everything that I've made together in one Google document, so it's all easy to access for you. You've got the character sheet, and you've got the rules, and of course you've got the cover that I made for that on there. And you guys can just find that down at the link below in the description. So I'll see you guys 2 weeks from now. I'm either going to be doing another one of these, or I may be looking at some of the Cyberpunk Red rules. I haven't decided quite which I'm going to do yet, but I'm really excited about the Cyberpunk rules. They're really cool. I think there's some neat stuff in there. It wouldn't be just me too. I'd be discussing some of this with some people that I play with. So yeah, I'll see you guys next video.